So hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel QA Explainer. So on this video guys, I explain you the best practices in software testing. So in this video, I'll tell you that QA role. So how you can do some QA practice. You can redefine your QA practice in agile development process or continuous delivery process. So it will helps you and it will helps the organization also. So this presentation will explore the key strategies and best practices which ensure that high quality and reliable software as per market needs. And here I will cover from goal settings to risk based testing to automation, collaboration, and continuous improvement. How you can improve your QA effectiveness. So everything I will cover on this video, guys. So let's start this video. So before starting it, let me define the clear QA goals and scope. So first thing is align QA with business. So that testing objective is always supports the company's goals, company's focus, and company's critical features. Majority the customer satisfaction, that is the most important thing in QA. So for a QA, we have to align with businesses because the customer satisfaction is the needs for the business, and QA is mostly consider that particular part of it. Now another is set a measurable matrix. So measurable matrix in the sense of like an indicator like defect rise, defect density, test coverage, traceability matrix. So this kind of matrix is needed so we can track the progress and quality for over time. So this is another very important part of the QA goals. Another is some scope base risk. So we have to prioritize the testing effort for high risk or high impact areas so we can like utilize maximum resource efficiency. So this is a very important part. Then some example goals. So minimum 15% reduction in critical defect is needed for upcoming release. If we are taking this kind of target, then our product stability will be improved. So these all are actually a clear QA goals, and it should be there in your QA scope while you are talking something regarding that your QA goals or QA plans. So for this kind of things need to be there. Now we have to implement the risk-based testing. So risk-based testing is nothing but here we need to identify the higher risk area. So here we need to identify the higher risk areas where that most complexity, user impact, or failures is like a repetitive thing is happening. So here mostly the risk features we need to identify for the complex modules or some critical workflows. And once we have identified the high risk areas, then our main priority is the testing. So we need to focus a particular testing effort for that particular business process by the help of using risk matrix, or you can say some kind of guide resource allocation. So it will reduce the exposure for this overall perspective. So these two things is pretty much needed here. Then another thing is that continuous integration and continuous delivery system like CI/CD pipeline. So why CI/CD is most important here? So first, it automates the testing in pipeline. So we have some kind of embedded automated test that need to be running every code commit or every instant feedback. So for this purpose, CI/CD integration is a one good choice. Another is frequent test execution. So through that CI/CD like pipeline, it able to catch the defect in very early stage in testing rather than that going that long cycle. So it is a very important part. Another is it accelerated the delivery part. So if for every release cycle, sometimes we need to go with that some release, that release is very short and release cycle. So for that we need to compromise the quality and stability. So but if we are going through this continuous CI/CD process, then we don't need to compromise that any kind of quality or stability. So we can pretty much sure or ensure ourselves or the release is proper or not. So that is the another part of it. Now, automate, automate, automate. Why I use these three word automate, automate, automate? Because automation is a very, very important part of that every release process, guys. So our main focus need to be automate the regression task or regression test cases that repetitive in nature. So that scenario, some scenario is high volume test or there's some critical path validation, that those things need to be automated. Then some robust framework we need to use, like we there is lots of tools out there, but we need to leverage those tools like Selenium, JUnit, Cypress, or Playwright. So those kind of tools are available. So through that tools we can go through that different kind of test suite. We can go through that cross browser support, CI/CD integration, support, and so many kind of like things that comes with that particular framework. And the risk, our target should be 80% automation. So we have done automation for majority regression coverage, then it saves the manual effort and it accelerates the release cycle. So that's why always target that 80% automation coverage will be helpful for us as a QA. Then some test data management strategy. So how that test data management strategy will help us as in QA. So or that first thing is a realistic data set. So for that we need to create a realistic data set by that help of closely mimic the production, or we can say closely mimic the customer data. We don't need to use customer data directly, we just need to use that similar kind of data. So for that we can get that valid use case result, or you can say valid use case execution result. So that is the another part. Second is data masking. So PII validation is a most important part of this state data management strategy, guys, because protect sensitive information or PII data managing is a essential thing during this whole testing. So our data should not be leaked in public, and everything will be well structured and well prepared way. So the security perspective also will increase properly. And that is version control. I think most of the companies they are using mainly version control, but still this version control is a pretty much helpful, because here we are maintaining the version of test data. So if that our like every time that uh, production code is being updated, so our test data also will be updated, and we are controlling the test data via version. So it is actually ensure the consistency and repeatability across the test run. Now, let me tell you some comprehensive test documentation. First thing is we have to maintain the test plan. So, test plan, in the test plan, we have to define the proper objective, scope, approach, and for structurized testing. Another is like we have to develop the test case and script. That is the another part, most important part. Here, we need to ensure the detailed instruction, or we can say ensure the throughout coverage and repeatability. Then traceability. So here you need to check the requirements to test, or we can say we can observe the defects for accountability and clarity. That is the another important part. Then use management tool. So here we can leverage the tools like TestRail, Zipper to organize and share the documentation effectively. So these all are actually a very important part. Then collaboration and communication. So collaboration and communication, first thing is foster the open communication. That is the most important part. So here we need to encourage the transparency among the QA developer stakeholder to align the quality goals effectively. Second is regular defect triage. So we need to maintain the frequent prioritize defects or resolve the defects according to that our defect triage report. Then we have to use the collaboration tool. So collaboration tool in the sense of like we need to use Slack or Microsoft Teams, so we can use that like in team or out team collaboration. So onshore and offshore team collaboration will be handled pretty much like very good way. So this kind of thing also is needed. Then performance and load testing, that is a very important part of this QA based practice, because here we are ensuring the responsiveness of the application. We are measuring the application speed under the peak load hours or under the heavy load, so that load should be maintained the smooth experience. Then we need to simulate the traffic, so different kind of tools are there like Jira, Load Runner. So different kind of tools are like so you need to simulate the traffic. So different kind of tools is like JMeter, Load Runner. So here we can replicate that multiple user scenarios or user stress. So it will help us to identify the bottleneck. So through that bottleneck we can detect and fix the slow point. So improves the software scalability and system stability. So that's why performance and load testing is a very important part. Another thing is continuous improvement and lesson learned. So first thing is we need to review that process regularly. As in QA, we need to analyze the QA workflows and tools to identify that inefficient or areas or that particular upgradable areas. It will help us to improve. Another is post-release retrospective. So after completing the release cycle, we need to gather in retrospective meetings. So we need to discuss the success, failure. We need to gather the actionable insights to for avoid the further mistakes or future mistakes. So that thing also is very important part. Then is incorporate learning. So here you need to adapt the QA strategies for continuously to meet that evolving project and business needs. So it helps us for understanding that whole process. So in we can incorporate that full learnings things in a documented way. So let me conclude this video, guys. So in the conclusion, I can say like QA combination have clear goals and risk-based testing and continuous improvement plan. It is a most essential part of it. So clear objective always helpful for align the testing with business priority for focused effort. And another thing is that adaptive risk management is a very important part. So here we need to continuously release the risk related items, and we are optimizing the testing impact for this. And another is collaboration and automation. So we need to do that in and out team collaboration or team collaboration, that is very much helpful. And automation we need for better efficiency. And so here we are embracing that automation and collaboration drives that consistent software quality. So that we need to ensure here. So I think this video actually gives you a proper understanding for QA based practice. I try to explain in clear way. So if this video is helpful, please subscribe my channel. Let me to grow on this YouTube, and please subscribe. And yeah, so stay together and please subscribe my channel, and I'll see you on the next video. So guys, thank you, thanks for your valuable time, thanks for watching.